Hey guys, this is Nick from forexnoobs.com with the midday analysis. Today is Tuesday the 23rd of August 2016 and the time is 13:58 here in the UK. This analysis has been recorded in two parts. I recorded a part earlier, which is I guess the normal analysis. But in that analysis I didn't really find many trade setups. I did find a potential Euro GBP setup, but it was a bit boring. After that analysis, someone in the chat room suggested that I take a look at New Zealand CAD because there was a pretty good looking potential trade setup there. So I did, and what do you know, the setup looks awesome. So I thought I'd record this additional part, add it to the start of the analysis, go through this New Zealand CAD setup, and then that would just lead on to the rest of the analysis. So it's a bit weird. This video is going to be a little muddled because I'm going to be talking about a potential setup now. Then the rest of the analysis is going to start when I'm finished talking about this one. And then we're going to look at the Euro GBP setup that I found. And then there were, it's a bit of a spoiler, but there wasn't anything else on all these other pairs. So today it's only Euro GBP and New Zealand CAD. But anyway, let's look at this potential short setup here on the 12-hour and the 8-hour. Because it's looking pretty good. It's actually closed on the 8-hour, so I want to get this done quick. Okay, so basically this is a pretty good looking setup. It's a New Zealand CAD short from a relatively strong resistance area that's had two very recent bounces, one bounce, two bounce. So it's looking pretty good. It's already heading down. Damn it. So how I would trade this setup would be roughly like this. Has a very good risk to reward ratio, by the way. So my entry would be somewhere like there. My minimum target would probably be around about here-ish. No, sorry, that's a bit high. Here, roughly there, because we can see that price kind of stalled on its way up a little bit. So that would be the minimum target, but ideally, I'd have a target which is a bit lower here. I'll just see how it plays out, if it even triggers. If it triggers, I'll see how it plays out. So the minimum risk to reward ratio is going to be something like 1.6. The maximum is going to be something like 2.7. So it is a pretty decent setup. So do keep a close eye on that one. The entry will be roughly just below the indecision candle itself. So yeah, I'm going to end this now and get this video posted to YouTube real quick because it looks like it's going to trigger any moment now. And now this video is going to move on to the rest of the analysis, which was recorded earlier. Hey guys, this is Nick from forexnoobs.com with some midday analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of August, 2016, and the time is 13:12 here in the UK. You're looking at a USD CAD daily chart. In today's analysis, I'm going to be going through most of the pairs on the right here. So most of these pairs here, and I'm going to be looking at each time frame for those pairs. What I'm going to be doing is scanning for price action setups, mainly reversal setups, or pretty much only reversal setups. I'll be looking for reversal setups across all these pairs and all these time frames. The way I do this is I look at a pair, then go through each time frame for that pair. This kind of methodical, systematic approach allows me to thoroughly scan for price action setups on all pairs, and it ensures that if I do this enough times throughout a day, which I do check my charts every 4 to 8 hours, it ensures that I miss almost no price action setups, no reversal setups. Now, just a quick note, I say this at the start of every one of these videos, but keep in mind there's always new people watching, so I just want to make it clear to everyone. I do not trade all of these time frames up here. You'll notice I have a lot of time frames up there. The ones that I trade are the 3-hour, the 4-hour, the 6-hour, the 8-hour, the 12-hour, and the daily. These other time frames here, 9, 10, 11, the 7, and the 5, they are there just for analysis purposes. I use them to get a better idea of what price is doing in an area. The more you split candles up into different, the more you split price up into different blocks of candles, the better idea you get what price is actually doing in that area. Anyway, let's actually get on with the analysis. So we're going to start with USD CAD, and work our way down. All right, nothing much is really going on USD CAD. It's in between two support resistance areas, so that's going to make it hard to get any reversal trade because I require indecision to form on a support or resistance area. So yeah, nothing really happening for USD CAD. All right, AUD USD is looking a little bit interesting. Let's go down the time frames. It's a bit too late to enter this, but go back to the 12. It's a bit late to enter, and even if we could have entered, well, let's see. I just want to quickly take a look at the numbers for this trade. I need to start checking my charts on Mondays. I don't really check on Mondays that often. I just start my trading week on Tuesday. But it means that I sometimes miss out on some decent opportunities. Like this one, it would have been a decent opportunity. It's already triggered, so it's too late to enter, but this trade could have been taken like this. Did anyone here today take this trade? AUD USD long on the 12 hour? I mean, it is struggling a little bit right now, but it's a decent enough opportunity for a quick 1.5 risk to reward ratio. It would have been at the time worth it. All right, doesn't look like anyone took it, so we'll just move on to another. Okay. Yeah, Euro USD is in between two support resistance areas. Nothing going on there. Is anyone short on USD CHF right now? It would have been a tricky trade though. That upper wick would have made it a bit hard. It looks like USD CHF is headed down. It hit this resistance area and it is in a long-term downtrend. So this would have been a good short, but again, I did not look at my charts on Monday. The reason I don't look at my charts on Monday is because statistically speaking, Monday was one of my slowest trading days. But the thing about the Forex market is things change with time. It's not like just because Monday is one of my slowest trading days in 2014 that's going to carry through to 2018. Things change, market conditions change. Now I've been noticing like the last few weeks that there have been a few missed opportunities on Monday for me, so I might next week start looking more into trading Mondays because I could possibly get a few more trades. I mean, I might have entered short here, but I almost definitely would have entered long on AUD USD here. So that's a missed opportunity, and there was also some missed opportunities last week. And the long on AUD USD, it's quite a good looking trade. And I know when you guys look at this, you might say, no, that's not a great looking trade. The preceding trend sucks. But look at this when you zoom out. Look at what happens when you zoom out. We have a very strong bullish uptrend. Well, not very strong, but strong bullish uptrend. So overall, and you'll probably see this better on the weekly, price is trending up. Now, this trade here, it doesn't look good on the surface. If you look at the preceding trend, it looks kind of average. You know, that preceding trend, all that stuff through there leading into the support area, it doesn't look too good. But when you consider the fact that you do have enough room to get a risk to reward ratio of up to 1.8 before it hits this area here, and this would be the problem area here, this one here. That would be where I'd be worried, because once price reaches up there, it could easily reverse. It did so very, very recently. So those highs are a concern. But by the time it reaches this level, you've already got 1.8 risk to reward. So, you know, this is a viable trade. It's with the major trend up, which is always a plus. I don't always trade with the major trend, but when I get the opportunity, it is a plus, and it has a good risk to reward ratio. So all in all, this would have been a good setup, but I missed it. So, you know, what do you do as a trader? You start thinking about adapting. If setups are forming on Monday, reliable setups are forming on Monday, which from what I've seen, they have been in the last several weeks. I need to look at my stats, but it could be the last 5 to 6 weeks. Then you adapt and you start looking for trades on Mondays. And worst case scenario, in the next few weeks, I don't find any trades on Mondays, or the ones I do take fail. Then you know, whatever. I just go back to trading Tuesdays. Sorry, I'm way off subject here, but I thought it was something a little bit important to go over. All right, so Euro AUD, it's kind of above a support area. Not enough of a preceding trend to actually consider a reversal here, so there's not really much opportunity here at all. What's USD JPY doing? Just stuck on this support area. Bit of a boring day so far, but we have a lot of other pairs to get through. Have you guys seen anything on the pairs you're monitoring? In case you're monitoring some of the other pairs. Oh, Eric, what are you in? Sorry, I didn't see you say that until now. What trade are you in? USD CHF or AUD USD? Nothing much tradable in terms of reversals on New Zealand USD. GBP USD is in between two support resistance areas, so we're not going to get anything here. Anyone still in that GBP JPY long? That one's been going for quite some time. It's in profit, but after a trade's gone that long, it's almost, what, 6 days? I'd probably just close out. Euro JPY is still doing its thing. Stuck inside the support area. This is actually pretty interesting from Euro JPY. That kind of move, it's just been stuck here for days. You don't usually see a range this tight on Euro JPY. And when you do, it usually breaks out pretty significantly. So if we were to go to, I don't know, the weekly chart, we could see that when you compress all the candles, it just becomes a few indecision candles. I don't know why that candle's black. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be interesting what happens here if it does break out significantly. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, but that's nothing to even think about today. Euro GBP, let's see what's up with that. This kind of looks like a potential setup, but I don't know. Those two support resistance areas are very close together. All right, so this does look like a potential trade setup here, but I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like. Can't put my finger on it, but there's something about it I don't like. But regardless, you can't let emotions like that get in the way if you're trading. Some of it is instinct, and sometimes I do act on instinct, but I am going to keep a close eye on this. I'll monitor it and I'll see how it forms. But you know, one thing I don't like for sure is how close these two areas are. These support resistance areas. Sometimes support resistance areas are close. Sometimes you place them and they just end up being close, and you know you can't widen them just because you want them to be wider, further apart. Sometimes support resistance areas are just close together. And this is one of those cases. So I don't like that about this setup. I don't like that at all. I also don't like how price reacts at this resistance area, or how it's reacted recently. It doesn't even have to get all the way up to it before it starts to react and starts to pull back. So if we were looking at this as a potential trade, if this indecision candle closes exactly as it is now, okay, we'd be looking at, I don't know, I'd probably want my stop around about there. Okay, 1.5. It's actually not as bad as it looks at first glance. Closer to 1.4 realistically when you factor in spread, but my stop is also a touch wide. And it is with the overall uptrend. I mean, and this is a pretty significant uptrend. There could be a minor pullback. I don't know. I'll keep a close eye on this, but yeah, I'm not overly excited about this one. I have to say, I'm not overly excited about this one. I know that last week, did any of you guys enter the long here last week? I didn't enter this trade, but I saw it posted to the forum. I was looking through the thread this morning. This long here. Did any of you very talkative guys here today enter that? You entered long yesterday? That's a bit late. Well, that didn't really work out well for you. You went long into support, into resistance. That was a really bad move. Okay, so no one in here entered this trade. All right, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. The point is there was a trade here from this support area last week. a 4 hour long. It took quite a while for it to take off, but in the end it did take off. So we could be seeing a very similar setup here today. Yeah, it's a weak setup, but it's something to keep an eye out on, I guess. As I'm sure you guys can tell, I'm not too confident about that one. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this area down. Oh no, I'm on the 4 hour. Never mind. Nah, I'll adjust it down anyway. Just want to see if there's any evidence for having this support down here. Nah, I'm going to keep it up here where it was. Oh, you entered short. Right. Yeah, that makes more sense. It does look like a short on the weekly, but that wouldn't affect entering long on the 4 hour, because on the 4 hour you'd be looking for a very, well, for you it would, because you don't want to be going long and short, but I mean for other people on the 4 hour you'd be looking for a very minor retrace. It's very insignificant. That's not going to affect a short on the weekly, where you'd be looking for a long-term downtrend. So even though those two trades seem a bit counter to each other, it's not really, because when you're looking at 4 hour versus weekly, it's a completely different thing. As you know, I don't trade the weekly very much at all, but yeah, this looks like a half decent setup, but I'm just not a fan of the weekly charts. I've always considered getting back into them, but yeah, it's very hit and miss for me, the weeklies. Anyway, let's get on with AUDJPY. AUDJPY stuck on a support area. Yeah. I'm just kind of curious what's going on here. It's clear that there's resistance here. Yeah, but it looks like a continuation, if anything. And nothing on GBP-CHF and AUD-CHF. But to those of you who are long on AUD-CHF, do hold on to that long. It's going very slow, but it is going. Anyway, okay, so yeah, it's a pretty boring day today in terms of setups. It seems like there were a few setups on Monday, but yeah, this Tuesday is so far pretty boring. That does not mean that we won't get any trade setups today. It just means right now, for the analysis I'm doing at midday, I'm not seeing any trade setups. But if I were to come back in, let's say, 4 to 6 hours, I might see a bunch of trade setups. It just depends. You have to do your analysis several times per day. If you limit yourself to 1 time per day, then you're still going to find trades. You're just obviously not going to find as many trade setups. Because setups can form at any time of day. yeah, right now there's no trade setups for me to share. I always feel kind of bad when there's no trade setups, but it's obviously not my fault. If there's no trade setups, then there's nothing you can trade. I always think that a lot of traders fail because they cannot get through days like this, or even weeks like this. There's sometimes weeks where you get almost no trade setups, and the trade setups you do see, they're just really, really bad. They're not good, and then if you take them, they end up failing. You know, I think that's what separates good traders or successful traders from the traders who end up failing. If I have a day or two or three or 6 or 7 where I don't see any trade setups, I don't really mind that much. You know, I do get that urge to trade. I do want to be in the market. I do want to take a trade, but you know, it's not like I start making impulse decisions to jump into bad trades just because I want to be in a trade. So yeah, to summarize, there's no trade setups right now, but that doesn't mean there won't be any trade setups in 4 to 6 hours. If there's anything that looks really good, I will post an update to my blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, just head over to my blog and look for the latest post on forexfornoobs.com, and you'll see any updates that I have to this analysis. So for example, in 6 hours, if I come back and I see an awesome trade setup on Euro USD, I will post it as an update. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Sorry this video is not more exciting, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up below. If you have any questions regarding this video, then leave a comment below and I'll respond to it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified as soon as I upload my videos. My Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and happy trading.